Oh, I can see it now. Spoiler alert. Look in the comment section of this video and you're going to see a lot of, why are you so negative on this team? They still have a chance at the playoffs. How you feeling now about talking about Trubisky still sucks? Doesn't look so good, does it? How you feeling about that desire to fire Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy? You feeling like a clown yet? You idiot. You look stupid. You look like cancer patient Kane and all of this other stuff. Oh, my God. Imagine being part of a fan base where you have to deal with people that are excited about their team being 7-7. 7-7. 14 games through the season. And because the NFL stupidly expanded the playoffs by one team per conference, no, in theory, that's a good thing, but because of what results out of this, now we got to deal with this garbage. You got a fan base that's geeked and excited about their team being 7-7. 7-7. The peak of mediocre football. 500 team. If that isn't a perfect representation of the McCaskey way of mediocrity, I don't know what the hell is. And you're going to have the Bears fans in the comments trash talking about how great Trubisky looked today. Well, number one, David Montgomery had a studly day, for sure. Hats off to him. Credit to him. In a game his team absolutely had to have if you're foolishly trying to pursue a 7th seed in the playoffs, David Montgomery stepped up big, and had arguably his best game as a professional. It's cool to see that. Give him a little bit of blocking, going up against a weak-ass, soft-ass Vikings defensive front, and good things can happen. Gee, it's almost like committing to the running game and being able to execute even a little bit in that facet can help open up things offensively. Who ever seen that coming? But then you're going to sit there and just keep on diving in. Man, Trubisky, since he's come back in, like, look at the stats, man. The stats look really good, man. He's figured it out, man. Are we just totally forgetting the primetime performance against Green Bay on Sunday night? And any numbers he put up there were garbage time numbers. Like, he absolutely sucked there. And we really need to get some context here. Let's get some context. If you want to tell yourself that Mitchell Trubisky was really, really good today, so be it. Whatever you need to get yourself through the day. Because you've been sucking on this guy's taint for 4 years anyways. What the hell is the difference now? It's not like you're going to stop. But let's stop with this narrative of how he's been looking dominant against great teams. I saw one ass clown, I think from Windy City Gridiron, was talking about how the Vikings are a well-coached and coordinated defense and a good defense. Asshole. Coming into today's game, they were 25th against the pass, 19th against the run, 22nd overall in total yards allowed. That is bottom third of the league. In no respects, in no measure, in no way, shape, or form, does that equal a good defense, a well-coordinated defense. Ding dong, dumb dick. That means they suck. Just like the Houston Texans defense sucked. Just like the Detroit Lions defense sucked. So you got all these Bears fans sitting there and getting all giggly tits, giddy as a schoolgirl, because Trubisky's had some passable performances the past 3 weeks against 3 garbage-ass defensive units. The previous 2 games against teams that have already fired both their head coaches and general managers. And now you're sitting there and you're playing a Vikings team whose defense is also trash. And even in spite of that, the Bears and what they had to do in terms of their play calling, it was a lot of quick decisions. It's a lot of one read. You don't need to read the defense because they know Trubisky stinks. They know he's not that dude. And if anything, the mere fact that Trubisky has shown a little bit more life these past 3 weeks, taking advantage of the garbage-ass defenses that he's been able to feast on, should be a further indictment of Matt Nagy. It absolutely should be. Because Ian Adams says 2018 he couldn't figure it out with this kid. Now he's got Bill Lazor, who seems to have figured it out better. He knows what Trubisky is, and he, more importantly, knows what Trubisky isn't, so avoid the isn't as much as possible. Like, why would you feel good about this team when you're coached by a clown? Nagy has proven himself to be a clown. He absolutely has. And for Bears fans that are sitting there trying to pretend, like all of a sudden now, you can see it coming. It's already coming. Well, I want them all back in 2021. Mitch should be back. Give him the tag. Bring back Nagy. Bring back Lazor. Like, this is how bad it's been in Chicago and how much the mediocrity of the McCaskey way has permeated through that city and through the fan base as a whole. Mitchell Trubisky threw for a whopping 202 yards today. And people are talking about you need to franchise tag him next year. When you actually got into a big spot late in the game and third down in the red zone, where a big-time franchise quarterback actually makes a big-time or at least smart play for his team, Mitchell Trubisky made a horrible mistake, forced the ball, and it got picked. And he's lucky that didn't come back to bite them in the ass. So let's not break out the anointing oil for this kid who stinks. He has just stunk less the last 3 weeks. He still plays scared. He still can't see the field. He still has throws that end up horribly off the mark. And at key times and key moments, he makes really, really bad, scared, bad decisions. So stop it! And also, let's not forget, the past 3 weeks he's been doing this against garbage-ass defenses. Fuck! But as much as I could rail on Bears fans and talk about the Bears offense and try to diminish what they've done, the real problem is for these Bears fans that want to sit there and see this team get into the playoffs, finish 9-7, like that's anything to be proud of. Like, what do you think they're going to do when they get there? When they actually face a decent team, Mitch isn't going to do shit. And even if he does, the defense is just going to gag it up. Like, really, the difference in today's game is the fact that Gary Kubiak and Mike Zimmer are incompetent fucks. That's why the Bears won. That's why the Vikings season is over. It's that simple. Because Chuck Pagano as a defensive coordinator is god-awful and terrible. The Vikings put up 27 points on him with relative ease, and this is a unit that, mind you, has Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson, Kyle Fuller. He invested big money in Robert Quinn, and he's taken this unit in 2018 that was actually elite and made them average to bad. That takes a special level of incompetent. Well, Chuck Pagano shows you he is indeed that level of special incompetent. To be able to do that is quite something in such a short period of time, and he has absolutely done it. Like, if you had a team that was playing up to the level of investment they've actually put on that defensive side of the ball, this should have been like a 33-10 game today. Maybe 33-17. And you can make excuses for the fact, well, you didn't have Jalen Johnson or busted screen and Deion Bush. You know, yeah, but other teams get injuries too. Like, that's part of the game. And good coaching finds ways to overcome that. Unfortunately, Chicago Bears defense is coordinated by Chuck Pagano, so good coaching is not to be had. The real difference in this game comes down to the sheer stupidity of those two fourth and short play calls by the Vikings offense, one in the first half, one in the second half, that basically handed the Bears field goals each time. And it's not necessarily the fact that they went for it in those fourth and shorts. It's the fact that their play calling of both of them was really bad. The first one was absolutely atrocious. The second one was bad. Some of that was poor execution, granted. But you shouldn't even have gotten to that spot to begin with. Like, it's just mind-numbing just how bad Mike Zimmer and Gary Kubiak are. And they are. And I saw it today. Like, Mike Zimmer is supposed to be this great defensive mind. Your defense sucks. You let Trubisky look good. You should be ashamed and embarrassed. And if Vikings fans want to talk about ramming a horn up your ass and sending you the hell out of town, it's games like this that point to exactly why the hell they should feel that way. Because this was there for the taking. and you let the Bears off the hook. So sure, Bears fans, go ahead and celebrate your 7-7 team. When you still don't have a long-term answer at the quarterback position, you know your head coach is a nincompoop. Imagine this. Coming out of that first half, he's bragging about the Bears' defensive performance. A-hole, there was nothing to brag about, and you're talking about how you let him keep everything underneath, you'll be okay, and then the Vikings immediately come out to start the second half and go underneath on you a couple of times, and bam, it's a touchdown. Like, maybe Matt Nagy is a good motivator of men, but in terms of understanding the game and in terms of as an offensive mind and as just a overall leader, piss poor. Imagine being that unaware that you think your defense is any good. They suck! And how perfectly appropriate now that the past few weeks the Bears have gotten a little something finally actually out of their damn offense because they've been able to feast against some really shitty defenses. And all the while, first against the Lions, before that against the Packers, forget the Texans game, that was a fluke, and then this game today against the Vikings, the Bears defense, with all that Pro Bowl, all pro talent, all of those first round picks invested either via selections or via freaking trades, the free agent money, the cap space, everything else, that defense gave up 27 points and they're lucky it wasn't freaking 40. So yeah, go ahead and celebrate your 7-7 team with the questions it still has on offense, the lack of long-term certainty it has at the quarterback position, knowing you got a numbskull as a head coach, all the while your defense that you've invested a crap ton into that in part has you in a really bad space in terms of the salary cap next year is only getting worse by the game. Like, what is there to be positive about right now? All you are doing is winning meaningless games when you're not a contender and screwing up your draft position and potentially putting at risk the house cleaning that absolutely positively needs to happen this year. And now let's be clear. You're potentially basing whether or not Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace should keep their job over whether or not this team goes 9-7. That's how bad this is. When you're making arguments like that about whether or not guys should stay because they got you to the last spot in the playoffs at 9-7, then that tells you all you need to go. No, bro, they need to go. Period. And now, of course, the way the scheduling gods have put it out there, week 16, the Bears get to play the we don't give a crap Jaguars. It's going to take all of my special powers and all of the Jeff Jinx that I've got going into next weekend's game to try and do the right thing by our Bears and send them all my Jeff Jinx voodoo to help them lose. Because all you're doing each week is pissing me off more, creating more frustration, and in the long term, when this team inevitably goes 8-8 or 7-9 even, but let's say 8-8 because they go into week 17 and the Packers beat them again because Aaron Rodgers is our daddy, then what? Then what do you do? You'll be at 500 again. You miss the playoffs again. You don't have the answer at quarterback. You need a new head coach. Your GM's a tool. And your defense that you've invested a crap ton in sucks. So yeah, celebrate the 7-7. And Vikings fans, I hate you. Because at least your team lost and eliminated all doubt. And who I really hate? Mike Zimmer, Gary Kubiak. You had one job, and you couldn't beat the sorry-ass Bears? That's all I got to say about that. Skull that.